Okay, we readjusted the camera angle. The question is, what made you decide to pursue the career that you did? In junior high and high school, I always wanted to be an architect slash engineer. I always wanted to build things, whether it was buildings or mechanical things. So when I graduated from high school, there was an associate degree program at Penn State that was for mechanical engineering. It was 2 years, taught you basically mechanical engineering. You had all the engineering classes that the four-year students had, but you didn't have a lot of the electives. So my game plan was to get that degree, go into the workforce, see if I liked mechanical engineering, if I wanted to go into more of a, like civil engineering or electrical engineering or some other kind of engineering or architecture. So I thought I'd work 2 years, then go back to school for 2 more years. Or I'd go to school for 2 years, take a year off work, and then go back for 2 years in the field I wanted to do. So what happened was, graduated, did real well, had like a 3.8 average, 3.34 average, and I got a job at Shippingport. It was Atomic Power Station, and there was a friend of the family's that got me my job, or I worked for him on his project. He was a project manager. In the year that I worked there, a year and a half, I saw that the tradespeople made huge amounts of money, so much more than any of the engineers, and I always wanted to have my own business, you know, in conjunction with the engineering. So the more I saw of it, the more I saw that these guys, the electricians, the laborers, at that time in 1975 and 6, the labor on the construction job that I was on was making about $28,000 a year. Okay, that was the construction labor, which was really good money in 1974, 75, 76. So what happened, and at that time, the project engineer for a nuclear power plant at that time made $20,000. So the construction labor made $8,000 more than the project engineer. And at the time, we were taking out the regular reactor and putting in, it was called an experimental, it was a breeder reactor. It was supposed to produce more fuel than it used. So a pretty big high-tech job, and here's the guy that's sweeping the floor making $8,000 more a year than the project engineer. Now the carpenters, the iron workers, some of them were making in the $50,000, $60,000 range. In 1975, it would be like $250,000 today. So what I thought was, now I'm going to go back to school for 2 more years. Spend, at that time was probably maybe only $8,000 or $9,000 or $10,000 a year, maybe not even that much. But spend 2 more years of my life going to school and not being able to work while I went to school, so I'd lose 2 years of income, come back, work for like 10 years in the business, and if I ever got to be a project engineer on a nuclear power plant, the construction labor would make like 1 point, whatever that is, works out to, but like way more money than I do. And the other tradespeople would make even more money than than I would. So at that time, Dave, my brother, he was in Penn State for electrical engineering. The more I told him about it, we both decided that we were going to go into the electrical contracting business, because that was his forte, the electrical contracting. And hold on.